There is no room for you in a narcissistic relationship. Relationships with narcissists are really not relationships at all because they all go one way. And there is no space for you to express yourself, your opinions, what you want, who you are, because the narcissist boxes you into corners where you have to play this role. You have to be what they want you to be, or you have to be what makes them feel good about themselves. And in this video, I'm going to explain why this is, and the purpose is to help you see how unsalvageable a relationship with a narcissist can be. You can't take a relationship where you can't be yourself, you can't express yourself, you can't be yourself, and turn it into a healthy relationship that's ever going to be conducive to your emotional health. And I'm also going to go over several examples of ways that narcissists do this so that you can see for yourself how much you hide yourself when you are in a narcissistic relationship. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. So, narcissists don't have room for you in the relationship because narcissists are completely consumed with their own perspective. They really feel like the whole universe revolves around them. And I've probably said this a million times, but you are a character in a story about them. You are playing the role of somebody who's in a supporting role in a movie about them, a story about them. You don't really have your own story, your own identity in their mind, or nothing that's really worth any time, right? They don't see any reason that you should be taking up time and energy creating your own identity and your own story when the only reason you exist is to support their narrative and to be part of their story, because their story is the only one that matters. They really feel like the only real person that exists. And another thing that contributes to this is a narcissist's inability to handle anything that they perceive as criticism. And they perceive a lot of things as criticism. I mean, if you like music that they don't like, that feels like criticism to them, because they must be wrong for not liking this music that you like. When you're sitting there enjoying something that they don't care for, you're mocking them somehow. You're making them feel like they're wrong somehow, and you think your opinion's better than theirs. So even these tiny little differences in preference can be really threatening and insulting to their ego. And if I'm going to explain specific ways that narcissists make it very difficult for you to express yourself and express who you are, this is a really good example. Your preferences. This could be the kind of music you like, or it could be the kind of food you like to eat, or the way that you chop an onion, or what kind of car you want to buy, what color your clothes are, what kind of furniture you want, how you want to arrange the furniture. I mean, the list is endless of things that you would like to do to express your preferences that actually threaten the narcissist. The longer that you live with a narcissist, you learn that it's usually better to just let them do what they want, listen to the music they like, watch the movie they want to watch, paint the walls the color they want to paint, than to go through the battle of trying to assert your own preferences, because it's just not worth the angst. It's not worth the fights, the battle, how insulted they seem, the silent treatments, just all the things you have to endure just to be able to make the simplest decision in just a preference that you have. And it's usually easier just to let them have their way. Another closely related way that you can't really express yourself with a narcissist is in your opinions. If you have a differing opinion from them, good luck. You know, when two normal, healthy adults have differing opinions, they can usually discuss those opinions and share with each other how they came to those opinions and learn a little from each other, or at least understand why these opinions are differing. I know, when it comes to like politics and religion, That's not always true in today's society, of course, but I think that the reasons that a narcissist isn't able to tolerate differing opinions is kind of closely related to the reasons that certain people cannot have constructive conversations about their political or religious opinions. To a narcissist, their opinion is fact. Their feelings are facts. And it's not so much that they don't understand what a fact is, or they don't understand the difference between an opinion and a fact. It's just that because they feel it, and because they're the only real person that exists, or the only person that matters, why would anybody else's opinion matter? Why would anybody else think that even talking about their opinion would be worth anyone's time or energy? It's like, if you're trying to suggest that your opinion, which doesn't match theirs, is even worth talking about, to them, it's like you're saying that you're just as important as they are. And that makes them feel like they are not important at all because of how fragile their ego is. They have to be the only thing that matters. Their opinions cannot be questioned. And that means that they are not willing to listen to anybody else's opinion. And this doesn't have to be about politics or religion. This could be about your opinion of what kind of car you like. There's no room for you in a narcissistic relationship for you to express your own opinions unless they match those of the narcissist, unless you're just there nodding your head and agreeing with everything that they say. And that's another way that you really disappear in this relationship with a narcissist in order to keep the peace. Narcissists also take over your time. You end up spending all of your time listening to them, serving them, doing things that they want. There's very little time left for you to explore your own interests or to do things that you want to do, to watch the TV that you want to watch, or spend time on your own hobbies, because every minute of every day is supposed to be going to them, to trying to make them happy somehow. And I think in a lot of narcissistic relationships, if you sit down and just read a book or do a hobby that's just for you, I think there's this feeling that you're robbing the narcissist somehow, that they might be upset with you. There's always like this little worry in the back of your head, wondering if they're going to be upset because you're not cleaning the bathroom or whatever. You're not listening to them go on and on and on about something you don't care about. And narcissists don't understand why you should be able to take time to do things that are just for you, because you only exist for them. That's the only point of why you're even around. So if you take time to do things that don't serve them directly, it's like you're stealing that time from them. They feel like they own you, like you're an object that they own, like your only purpose is to play this character in a story about them. You don't have a right to waste time doing your own thing. And this is another way that you can really lose yourself in a narcissistic relationship, because you don't have time to figure out who you are and what you like to do and what you like spending your time doing, because you don't have any left. And along with time is energy. Even if you have time to explore your own interests, you don't have any energy left, because you're spending all of your energy trying to make this person happy, trying to figure out what is going on, trying to understand why they're so upset with you, trying to read their mind, walking on eggshells. It's exhausting trying to make a narcissist happy, especially when you live with them. It is exhausting trying to second guess every tiny little thing that you say, how they may react to what you're going to say, what you're going to do, trying to prevent that next 3-hour argument, trying not to set them off. It is exhausting. And especially when you do end up in 3-hour arguments, when they keep you up until 2 o'clock in the morning fighting with you about the way you hang your towels up. There's no energy left to even think about what you like in life and what you want to do. When you want to explore your own hobbies, or you have things that are important to you, you have to like steal that time and energy away from the narcissist. It's like you have to sneak off and do those things, or find like excuses and justifications to do those things, or find ways that those things might serve the narcissist's interests. The narcissist has no interest in your welfare or how good it is for you and the relationship. for you to be able to get to know yourself and explore your own interests. They are just these bottomless pits of need that don't see any value in you taking any time or energy to do things for yourself. And that leads us into another area in which narcissists really don't allow us to express ourselves or get to know ourselves. And that is in getting to know our own needs or being able to express our own needs. I think most of us are in touch with our desire to have at least like a bare minimum amount of respect, not to be yelled at and criticized and insulted when we're trying to do our best. Most of us understand that we need that. But even that bare minimum need, if you've ever tried to tell them to be a little nicer, or to stop yelling at you, or to stop being so unfair with you, we all know how productive that is. They shut that down right away. Just the most basic bare minimum needs that you have are seen as burdens, seen as unreasonable, seen as criticisms of them. And like I said earlier, they cannot handle the tiniest bit of criticism. So when your need is something so basic, so bare minimum, that's like an insult to them, right? Even though it's true that they're not giving that to you, you're exposing the fact that they can't meet the most basic needs of a human being. And that just makes them angrier. That just makes them not want to meet those needs even more. And it makes them see your needs as a huge burden on them and an insult to them. Now, how are you supposed to go forward in this relationship and get to know and understand what your actual needs are? In the hierarchy of needs that we've probably all heard about, we can't try to meet our more sophisticated needs if we can't get our basic needs met. If you don't have food and shelter, you're not going to be worried about entertainment or social gatherings or anything if you can't get your most basic needs met. And when you're in a narcissistic relationship, it's a struggle to try to get your most basic needs met, and you don't even have time or energy to explore what your actual needs in a relationship are. Some people want a certain amount of physical affection. Some people want a certain amount of spiritual connection, or some people want a certain amount of time together or time alone, or people want to be able to share certain kinds of activities with their partner. We don't have time to think about or explore what our personal needs are in a relationship when we can't even get this person to stop yelling at us and insulting us over things that we don't have any control over. So when you get out of a narcissistic relationship, you might have no idea what it is that you really want out of a relationship, because all you know is you want someone that's not going to yell at you or make you feel 2 inches tall. Like I've said before, I was in a relationship once where I consciously was aware of, but did not see the problem with, the fact that all I wanted, all I needed out of this relationship was to make him happy. And I thought that to myself, like, that's all I want. I just want him to be happy, and then I'll be happy. And now looking back, I understand better that it's not that I didn't have any needs. It's not that there wasn't anything that I wanted out of the relationship. It's just that I didn't have my most basic need met of being able to keep this person at least somewhat satisfied with me so that he wouldn't be so critical of every little thing I did. And because I didn't have that basic need met, I didn't even know what else I wanted out of a relationship. And that's one way that a narcissist can prevent you from getting to know yourself and can make you hide yourself in this relationship with them. Another way that narcissists can make you lose track of yourself in a relationship is just the way that they need to control you. Narcissists are generally control freaks. And there's a lot of reasons for this. This goes back to their fragile ego in a lot of ways. If they can't dictate every little thing that you do, that is an insult to their ego, because being able to go on a nonstop power trip is how they can confirm to themselves how important they are, thus shoring up their ego and making them feel better about themselves. So if they can't control you 24/7 and dictate every little thing that you're going to do with your life, that makes them feel like they must not be very important. They must not be very relevant. And that's going to be really difficult for their fragile ego to handle. And in addition to this power trip that they've got to be on to make themselves feel important, like I said in the beginning of this video, they need you to play a part. They don't need you going off script and doing your own thing. You're supposed to be acting the way they want you to act. You're supposed to be playing the part of this character that they've imagined for themselves. You know, if you are their spouse, you're supposed to be playing the part of the perfect spouse that goes along with the narrative that's in their head of what their perfect spouse would look and act like. You're not supposed to be making your own decisions and doing your own thing, because you're supposed to be matching the description or the idea of this fantasy person in their head, because that's the only way they're going to feel stable, like they have control of their own life if they can control everybody else. Narcissists feel like they own you and you exist solely for their use, their needs, and their ego. And when they have to keep such tight control over you and use any manipulation or fear tactics that they can to keep you under control, how are you supposed to express yourself? How are you supposed to be an individual when they have decided who you are and what you think and how you're supposed to act and how you're supposed to dress? There's no room for you to get to know yourself or to express yourself in this relationship. There's no room for you. You are being controlled. Your decisions are being controlled by somebody who feels like you exist solely for their use. And another reason that you can get lost in a narcissistic relationship is that narcissists have to have all the attention on themselves. So if there's any attention on you for anything that's unique to you, they are going to be jealous of that, unless they can somehow turn it around to be about them or be a reflection on them. Like, for example, there are a lot of parent-child relationships where if the parent is narcissistic, a lot of times if they can somehow cause their child to, I don't know, do something that they wished they could do. Like maybe if the child plays the piano really well or is really good at sports or is a really good student, if the parent can somehow make that about them, make them look good and take credit for what the child is accomplishing, then it's okay if the attention is on the child, because then a lot of that attention is really like being reflected on the parent, at least in the parent's imagination. It's all about them and what they created and their legacy, right? But if the narcissist can't do that in the relationship, or if they don't feel like they can do that anyway, if they don't feel like the attention that's being given to you is somehow something they can take credit for, they are going to do everything they can to crap all over that. They're going to minimize your accomplishments. They're going to make you feel like nothing you do is really that great, or they're going to do things to try to redirect the attention onto themselves. Like if you're maybe at your own birthday party, you know, and people are paying attention to you because it's your birthday party, the narcissist might throw a fit, start an argument, start drama, or just start talking about themselves, you know, just start saying anything they can to bring the attention back onto them, to do anything to take the attention off of you. Their fragile ego can't handle somebody else getting the attention, somebody else in the same space, the same room, or the same social circle that the narcissist is in, taking time and attention away that the narcissist feels should be directed towards them, because the narcissist wants all the attention because they feel like the center of the universe. There's no reason that any attention should be diverted to anyone else, especially in the same room or the same work environment or the same social circle as they're in. If attention could be directed towards them, it should be. And when you live with somebody who can't stand any attention being paid towards you, or they can't stand the idea of you having any accomplishments separate from them, any accomplishments that they can't take credit for, any promotions at work, or maybe educational achievements, or anything that makes you look good that they can't take credit for. When you live with somebody that can't handle that, it really encourages you to keep yourself small. It encourages you not to have accomplishments, or at least not to share them with this person, because you know that this person's going to make you feel bad. Like if you're really happy and excited and proud of yourself over something that you've done, you know, or you learn after a while that going to this person with these things that you're excited about, you're just asking for them to make you feel bad about it, or to minimize these things, or to tell you why what you've done isn't so great, or how, like if you got a promotion and you're all excited, they might tell you how awful your new job is actually going to be, or why you're really not prepared for this type of role, or whatever. So when you live with somebody who can't stand any attention being paid towards you or any accomplishments you've made, you learn to hide yourself. You learn to minimize anything that makes you unique, because you know that anything special about you is going to be punished. Now, this is all pretty dreary, pretty bad news, and you might be wondering what my point is, which I alluded to in the beginning of the video. If you're with someone like this, I think it's a huge waste of your time and energy to try to make a relationship like this work, or to try to make it healthy. I want you to be able to see, in whatever relationship you're in, whatever kind of relationship it is, I want you to be able to observe how this person doesn't want you to express yourself, to be yourself, doesn't want you to be in touch with your own interests and your own opinions and your own preferences. You cannot build a healthy relationship with somebody who wants you to shrink yourself down, who needs you to be smaller than them. Not just smaller than them, but they've got to be the only person that really even exists. You've got to be like this nothing, that just this shell of a person that only exists to serve them and their needs and their identity. Your identity is whatever you are to them. Their wife, their husband, their child, their friend, their employee. Whatever it is, that's all you are. And anything you are outside of how you relate to them is a threat to them. You can't fix a relationship like that. You can't build a healthy relationship with somebody who doesn't care who you are or what you think, and actually sees those things as threats and makes you feel unsafe even knowing what your needs are. Somebody that really cares about you would want you to tell them what it is you need. And they would especially want you to feel safe enough to even know what those things are. You can't build a healthy relationship with somebody who doesn't even know how to allow you to exist in the relationship. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.